if you, and it's not just about writing. Actually, UX writing is not just about writing. It is like a collaboration with designers. So as long as design is still in the mix, UX writing is also going to be a very crucial part of the product future.
So one time I always saying, so this may sound lame, right? But like, either way, it's more like I want
It's
to
fine.
be with I want to be with you for the longest time, and I want to twist with you for the longest time, just like your hairstyle.
What's that?
You know,
Was I on
you
twist that time too?
you have always been on twist since I know you. So
Yeah,
that's that,
yeah.
that's why.
Like, so let's get started.
So for everybody listening, Zainab has done the basic intro. Not just design podcast is sponsored by Eruption. Their basic and number one promise is to make information accessible to young Nigerians. If you are listening, the link to Eruption is in the link below. On this podcast today, we have Zainab, Zig, Zag, Z.
Hi, everyone. Hello, Trent. Yeah,
Yeah, hello. So
I'm
let's let's
Zainab.
start let's start from the
Yes,
beginning.
exactly.
Zainab, how are you? How are you doing?
Okay, I'm fine. Today, I'm fine. I'm actually doing okay. They brought the light not too long ago. Like they knew I needed this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
I'm
good.
good actually.
Yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
while since we spoke, both of us. So this
yeah.
one will be
It's been
interesting.
long. We've been trying to speak for the longest time.
Yeah,
I remember like two scenarios when one my camera was not working,
yeah,
and
yes, I
then I
remember.
missed the last one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I'm
it's
finally doing it.
and a lot has happened between that time and now, Zainab. But there's one thing I like also start from,
It
right?
has.
We're going to talk about your article that you
Okay.
write. And we're going to talk about those two little bits, and how come there's only one left? You know, they don't give Baba
How come there's
breakfast.
only one left?
Mhm.
I can talk about that. I can talk about that.
Okay,
It
so
doesn't
nice.
even know what you want to do.
Okay, nice. So let's start from the top, right? So now, Zainab, tell me,
Okay.
right? Tell me how you end up being a product designer.
Okay. Okay.
Tell
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
best.
Going
Tell me
to.
the best way you've never said it before. Yes.
Okay. 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 I'll refine it. Make it even better. Okay. So my
Mm-hmm.
first journey into tech was not product design. My first journey into tech was Excel. Let me just say Excel.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do something that I could do with my computer after I graduated with school, and I was waiting for my NYSC because I could not go for NYSC immediately I graduated. So I wanted to keep myself busy. So I thought, let me learn Excel and like I know try to be good with it and stuff like that. So it was through Excel that I found data analysis. But somebody was like, you're learning it in Excel, so why don't you like try to do data analysis because it's connected and you can be a
Yeah.
data analyst with Excel. So yeah, my first point of contact into tech was data analysis and Excel and stuff like that. So I did data analysis for almost a year. I don't know if it's up to a year, but it's almost a year, sure. And then I went for NYSC and I got back and I just lost the momentum to continue going with data analysis. I was bored and I was into the programming part of data analysis. I was learning Python, I was learning R, and I was not just enjoying it. Like I could sit with troubleshooting for 2 days or 3 days and I would not understand it and I'll finally get it. It's just be one small problem. So I don't like
Yeah.
that delay. I feel like time is going and I'm sitting down trying to troubleshoot something. It just makes me feel like I'm being slow in the stuff with data stuff. So I always eyed UI UX design thanks to Twitter mostly because
Mm-hmm.
I mean I see people design stuff before I didn't know what UI UX design was about. I thought it was just about designing and making things beautiful. So I always wanted to try this out. So maybe I should try this out while I am bored with data analysis. So and I just spoke to like a couple of people like, should I try this out? Will it make me like does this mean I don't have direction? I'm
Mm-hmm.
already doing data analysis and I want to like change career path to something that is never
So
related down to do UI. Like try it out,
to
try it
like
out. If you don't like
graphics
it, you
and
come back.
drawing and drag and drop, all of that.
Yeah. Uh-huh. 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 Like, so if you don't like it, come back to data analysis. So I said, okay, I'll try it out. And then I started with the Google UX course. And yeah, since then I've not gone back to data analysis since then. So you can tell that, yeah, you can tell that I'm not bored with it yet. So yeah, that's how I got into product design, basically.
So now, how far were you? How far data analysis now, right? Do you think like you've taken things from there and you like transitioned some things you've learned into UI UX?
It would be in the research part, because when I was doing that Google UX course, in the beginning parts, the first lessons, they pointed at data analysis, quantitative data, qualitative data and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I did this in data analysis. Like, I'm familiar with this. I'm familiar with data visualization, like how to pass information across visually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I brought that thing from data analysis into product design. But then the hands-on part, that's the designing part, I don't think data matters there. It has to do with the research and maybe some part of the testing when you're analyzing your test results and you want to show it off to the people that, let's say, stakeholders.
How many years has it been in product design? Yeah.
Let's say it's not up to 2 years yet. 1 year and let's say 5 months. 1 year and let's say 5 months or 6.
What has been your headache? Yeah, what has been the thing that you look at design and be like, who sent me? I swear. That kind of thing.
Okay. Like regrets. Are you trying to say like a regret?
No, not regrets now. Like, sometimes okay, let me give you context, right? So sometimes I'll be designing and then somebody will just send me a message on Slack and be like, hey David, we need to design this flyer at the end of today. And then I still have another project to have to design it, like that another separate design, right? It's the same company, but like separate things. And I'm like, who sent me a message? Because I have to go and start doing research about this one. Then I'll just be there, like, who sent me? Like, who sent? So, like those kind of experiences.
Okay, I understand now. Okay, my own would be that there is so many things to learn. There's so many things under design that I don't know. And the more you try to find out that, the more you try to see, the more see that you don't know something, the more you see that there's so many other things that you don't know. So it's just like, it just keeps, it's not reducing. What you are knowing is not, what you don't know is not reducing. It's increasing the more you find out that you are learning, the more you're learning. And it just overwhelms me sometimes. I'll just be like, who sent me? Like, why am I even here? Am I sure I'll not even have been better off as a data analyst? Maybe I'll have found something better to do, because this thing is too much and I don't know anything. That there are so many people that are good at this thing and me, I don't know simple auto layouts. I don't know simple, like, it's so annoying.
Yeah, I get that feeling. I get that feeling.
That's part of it.
Yeah, I get that feeling.
Information overload.
Yes, like it's very, very troubling. If you see, maybe you're on YouTube, you're trying to learn, or even Twitter, like you're just scrolling on Twitter, and then you see somebody do one prototype thing like that, and it just moves. In your mind, you're like, wow, where are these
What am I doing with my life?
Exactly. You're like, what are these
What am I doing with my life?
I saw a prototype from one of my friends, right, Victoria. So she has been doing 30 days of prototyping. Her name is V on Twitter. For people watching on YouTube, I'll put the video up. So let me see if I can send it to you on Discord. So Victoria pushed out this prototype, this thing is nice. Do you see the search button? Do the search button, just swipe, just and my mind, and I'm like, and now she's doing this and I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, man, what's this? How do I even get to this point? That kind of thing.
Yeah, like if you want to do it, you have to analyze, like, can I do this? You start using it to evaluate your skills. Okay, I've seen it. I'm going to check it out after this.
Yeah, check it out.
Use it to evaluate your skills.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. How do you find yourself like solving that kind of when you feel that way? What do you do? I say when you feel that way, when you get in that kind of situation, when you get in that kind of situation, right? Like, what do you do?
I just try to talk myself into, like, it's okay. Don't compare yourself. I mean, it's hard. It's hard not to compare yourself. It's hard, very hard, especially when you are seeing these things in front of you and you know that, I don't know, but it's hard. So I just try to like talk myself. There's a tiny part of me that tries to talk me into it's fine. Like, it's okay with, be okay with where you are now and what you are doing now. And the more you progress, the more you learn, the more you practice, the more you do better. So there are some articles that just come my way in time. Even though I've read it, like, even though I read those kind of articles several times, they just come in like when I need them.
At that
And they
point in
just
time.
remind me that you are, yeah, exactly. Just remind me that you are doing okay and just keep going. And you won't die as long as you don't give up.
You won't
Yeah.
die.
And friends too. Friends and community help a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you share those articles with me? So I'll put them in the description. So myself, make I follow read them. So I know good enter
Yeah,
depression.
there's one that I read that one was really, really, really nice. I hope I still have it. I'm going to look for it after this show.
What I do mostly is I look at it and as you said, talk to yourself. At least I do that. I just calm down and tell myself, it's not about now, David. It's about later. It's about future. It's not about now. You were here before. You are here now. You'll be here in another place again.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just keep saying, okay, you were here before. You're here now. I just keep talking to myself and I pace. Like I just start pacing. I
Yeah.
just moving around from like front and back in my room. I just keep moving up and down. I found that helps, that helps.
Yeah.
Also, your
Yeah.
writing. How do you transition like from design, and how do you mix it with writing? Why did you give that expression?
I know the question was coming.
Definitely.
How did I get into writing?
Yeah.
Okay. I've always written pre-design. But I didn't get into UX writing until I got into UI UX design. And it was this article that I wrote, NFT for Dummies, that made me see that I could do writing in design. That I don't know if you know the article, but it's like explaining NFTs in a very simple manner to beginners and people that are not tech or crypto savvy. So when I put that article out, it got traction. And there were some people who told me that I do well as a UX writer. I didn't know what that was at that point, but then I went to search it out and I started getting into articles. I started reading articles on Medium about UX writing. I was like, oh, this is nice. Maybe I can do this because if I learn this seems like something I would like. It's writing. I've always liked to write sometimes. I always like to write, and writing for UX design is like something I think I could do if I give it a try. So I said, let me try it. And that's how I got into UX writing.
What kind of articles were you writing before? Or what kind of things were you writing before?
Random things. Oh, I was writing random things on my Medium. I even did one 30-day writing challenge because I just wanted to like writing. I just created my Medium account then. I've always written, but it was always in my diary, in my books, in my journals and stuff. I'll just write about my experience and my friends and people that I met, how my day went and stuff like that. So one time I said, let me create a Medium account to just share some of the stuff in my head after reading. I mean, why not? It was a New Year resolution for me that time, January 2020. I created my Medium account and I put out something. And since then, I've been writing on Medium about random things that are just in my head, life lessons, some things that don't even make sense. Some of them make sense. Some of them are funny. Some of them are not funny. So yeah, and sometimes I write technical stuff. If I learn something, I'll try to explain it to transcend whatever it is that I learned. And when I finish I've not finished that Google course. What am I saying? when I reach somewhere in that Google course, I also wrote about it, like how the Google course has helped me so far, and that one also got a lot of traction on Medium. So yeah, and many people got into design. Like it was kind of like a recommendation for beginners to get into design with that course.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
nobody. I don't think I've seen anybody that finished the Google course like Ep10. Most people I have on this podcast.
I've seen.
Who have I?
Yes.
Who have I?
Julius in
Oh, damn. I need to speak to him because I need to find out the kind of determination it takes.
When you finish that time, he gave me the ninja. He was like, "You must finish it, so you must finish." I was like, "Yes, I must finish it." I went after 1 week. I dumped it again. I don't think I'm ever going to finish it at this point. I've stopped trying.
But have you finished any other course, like any other course before, like in UI UX or design or UX writing?
Yeah, I finished. Yeah, sure. UX writing. I finished courses in UX writing. There are not many courses in UX writing, so the ones that I have, they are not. I can't take them for granted. UI UX design, I can always go on YouTube. When I abandoned the Google course, I was on YouTube mostly, learning practically, watching videos and using it to practice. But UX writing is not really like that. There are not many resources, so the little ones that you have to hold it. So there are the free courses. I took them and I finished them for UX writing.
What would you say? What would you say? Like, is it because courses are scarce, or is it because like you just have you're just on that spectrum of design to writing, which you enjoy more? You're just maybe a little bit more interested into what's the writing part is why you finish the courses, or you like having a timetable? Was it discipline? Was it like accountability partner stuff? Shout out to UK, by the way. Which one?
Of course. Shout out to UK. Yeah, I think I have a little bit of bias for writing than design, and that's why like I finished most of my writing courses and not design. I don't know. I can't remember finishing any design. Okay, like I think some courses in design because I did not complete the Google UX course as a whole. It does not mean that I did not finish. I did some. I finished like 5 or 4 courses. So,
damn,
that
that's
one
a
was
lot.
yes, like the foundations,
Yeah.
do you take the Google UX course too? Like it is specialization.
I didn't
It's a
take any of that one.
specialization. So like
Yeah.
yeah, so I didn't finish it as a whole, but I did it up to a point. But the UX writing, yeah, there's a little bit of bias for writing than design, which made me finish most of my writing courses than the design course. And yeah, it's not that broad or general. It's not that popular like UI UX, like product design. I mean, just try to hold what you have and know it well because you are scarce in the market. Or you're not that you're scarce now, but you are. Yeah.
Yeah. So you no plenty, are small, very, very small. So yeah, I do understand.
Compared to designers as a whole.
I want to ask you, this may sound like a hot take, but is product design saturated? And why, if for any answer you give me, you answer the why.
Okay, that's fair. Product design is saturated. Me too. I asked this question when I was taking to design. Like, am I even like the drones? I've applied for plenty jobs in UI UX design.
All of them.
And I barely got like an interview back. So that made me even wonder, like, what am I even doing here? Like, this thing is kind of saturated. And for some of the UI of the UX writing jobs I applied to, if I apply to say, let's say 10, I'll get a response. Even though it's a rejection, I'll get a response for like 2. But for design, I'll apply to 20. I won't get any response. I won't get any
Ouch. That's bad.
any rejection. I'll get rejection for like 1 or 2. So that just made me wonder that like is this saturated and don't they need people again? Are people doing? But I feel like it is saturated, but on the junior level, in the beginner's zone, that is where it is saturated. Like there are many people trying to get into it. There are many people with Behance portfolio, and there are many people with basic knowledge about it, and at beginner level, trying to get into design and trying to look for entry level jobs, in internships, junior positions. That's why I'll say that is one I'll say is kind of saturated. But I think as you move up the ladder, if you are persistent enough, you are going to get to a point where you become hot cake, which I think is where you are now, Jones. Is where you are now.
No. Don't put me on the spot here.
You are getting to the boss level, and so yeah, for you it might not be like that, but for me, I feel like the entry level part is still kind of is saturated. But it should not be a discouragement. It's discouraging. It's kind of discouraging, but it should not be discouraging enough. If it's something you really enjoy, if design is something that someone really wants to get into, then should be persistent, and like to keep going even though the rejections keep coming.
There's this podcast, Future of Design. It's run by this guy from Overlay Academy. Overlay Academy. They have a podcast. So now the podcast was with Tola Alabi, and they asked a question. They asked Tola Alabi, can you define the future of design? And his statement was, most times when they ask these questions, they ask somebody who is very older in the field, people who have spent 10, 15 years.
Yeah,
But
naturally.
he believes that that kind of question should be asked to people who are just new or relatively new in the field. So you said that you're relatively new into UX writing. So what do you think the future of UX writing is?
Of UX writing, not UI UX
Yes.
design, not UX design.
Yeah, UX writing.
Let me see. I feel like
Anyhow.
UX writing has, I'm trying to say the most reasonable way. I feel like UX writing has like a very good potential now and like in the future, because as long as we are creating stuff for people that we want them to be able to make use of and understand, UX writing has a bright future, and not just for the UX writers, but for also for the users, because I mean, of course, you're writing for them. So if you, and it's not just about writing. Actually, UX writing is not just about writing. It is like a collaboration with designers. So as long as design is still in the mix, UX writing is also going to be a very crucial part of the product future. But yeah, UX writing has a bright future as long as we still have users that we are writing for, and we have products that we are creating for the users.
I'm assuming there are people listening that, so now this is normally this podcast is basically just things that I find interesting, but like for the sake of other people listening, how would you define UX writing? Let's say, how would you define UX writing basically? And give me like instances of how it's been used.
Okay, UX writing is not, it has writing in it, but it's not the core part of it. UX writing has to do with starting from the empathize. What am I saying? The design, the 5 designs stuff. It has to do with this, starting with the empathize stage of a design. When you're trying to build a product, you have to like try to understand what this user wants, what they want, ask crucial questions, and then write something that has to do with that product and in a way that they're going to understand it and it's going to be useful for them for the product that they want to use. So where UX writing comes in is in trying to break it down, and not just break it down in any manner, but try to break it down to make sure that the action that the user wants to take successful at the end, thanks to them understanding what is being communicated by the product. So UX writing is there's a definition that it is the writing of clear, concise, and simple. I don't think that's it, but it has to. There's clear, there's concise, and there is clear, concise, and something else. Another C. I just use simple. So copies for users to be able to make sense of what the business is trying to communicate to them. So UX writing is like a bridge between business and users. Yeah, basically.
Okay, if I'm to define it for myself, I do this all the time where I see something I want to redefine it, right? So I'll most likely use a stupid analogy. But here's the analogy. Like from what you just said, is this. So UX writing is like you're trying to serve me stir fry, right? You already, you put everything in the plates, you've done everything. But then you now put an image how to cut chicken on the table. Like the thing's already on the table there that I'm sitting on. So an image of how to cut chicken on the table, right? Now you're not telling me how to cut my chicken. But then the fact that they stir fry with chicken inside the plate and there's an image on the table, right? I'm learning how to, this how I should maybe cut my chicken, with fork and knife. That's the best way. Now that picture there that's on every table, is that a better a way of describing what UX writing is?
That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. The picture and then the little micro copies that follow the picture, like do this. The clear instructions. Take your knife, cut the chicken like this with your left hand or with your right hand. Those are micro copies that help you to get your action done successfully. And if they are not clear enough, you might hurt yourself with the knife, or you might throw your chicken might just waste because you're not cutting it well. So we want you to be able to cut your chicken very well and enjoy your meal in the restaurant. And so for that to happen, we need to like explain it, describe it for you very well with the instruction that we have laid out in front of you. That's the UX writing. I like that analogy. I
You
like
can
it.
you can use it freely. Don't worry. I dash you.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to use it.
Yeah. So it's just basically definition of little things matter. Like, if you
Mm-hmm.
think about
Mm-hmm.
design, you will not think about maybe a button that says your message has been sent, but probably we're waiting on network, or probably your message has been sent. Once it's been delivered, you get a notification, or your message is hanging due to the fact that we're having server
Mm-hmm.
issue, or all
Mm-hmm.
those small things.
Communication, clear communications. Yes.
Exactly. Like,
To
on a
produce
larger
services.
scale, we think is sorry, on a larger scale, as a designer, you think it's just the
Yeah.
design. It's just, drag and drop, build the application. And at the end of the day, if it looks nice, it looks good, what's it top?
Yeah.
It's interesting to find out. Like, now you with the follow
Yeah.
now, yeah, the guys are at least
Eh, don't
in this,
even
don't even
don't
what.
even let us start on this podcast. It's going to take longer than than we expect. Don't let us start at all.
In the Nigerian space, Zainab, are there much UX writers? Do you think there is a space for UX writers to like gain audience and like have more job opportunities?
It's two things. In the Nigerian space, for the UX writers, we are not that many. We are not many, but we are there, and we recognize ourselves, and we support ourselves. Like the UX writing community in Nigeria that me have come across on Twitter and off Twitter, they are very supportive. Like they are willing to uh, give you to answer your questions and give you resources and like support you in the little way that they can. Like it's hard for you to go into a UX writer's DM as a UX writer and ask for help and you are going to be ignored. I've never come across that, and I don't think is common in Nigerian clients. But as for jobs, though, jobs in Nigeria, UX writing wise, is not in abundance, unfortunately. So
Mm-hmm.
like, wait, it's not a good thing for this to make you like want to spread your wings into applying for international roles faster than you would
Yeah.
have if it was related. So I think many UX writers they
Mm-hmm.
aim for international roles and stuff like that. Then they don't just look at Nigerian and locally at local employers. I mean, Nigerian employers too are trying. They are starting to not they are starting. They even know some of them know, but that is the ones that have their foot on the ground. But there's some that startups they
Yeah.
don't have the budget for separate UX writer after hiring a
Uh-huh.
designer.
It's,
So
yeah.
I don't
I was
really blame
getting
them.
there.
But the ones that have their foot, the ones that have their foot on the ground, they are knowing the benefit of having a UX writer as part of the team, and they are doing the needful. But for some that don't, UX writers are looking international while they are spreading their wings, and hopefully we all jam something sweet.
Nice. They all jam something
Yeah.
sweet. Do you know that's a fun? We all jam something sweet. Guy, jam is Zainab, the boss bars all the time. So for people listening, your last this article, right? Your last email. There was this joke that somebody made. She wrote B and then put cocks, like chicken. When I say corn, I mean chicken. That's what she said. But like she put like three different hen, and then she now puts S at the end. That was
Yes,
mad.
because
Exactly. When I read it, I was like, damn. That was funny. That was really funny.
yeah, that was the joke of January. That was interesting.
This me, why did you start
Yeah.
writing those episodes on those email episodes? Why did you start writing them?
For my newsletter, I've always wanted to have a newsletter, but then there's this thing that I don't have any. What am I going to write about? What else am
Yeah.
I going to write about that people are not writing? What value do I want to give that people are not already giving? So that one stalled my newsletter stuff for a while. But at one point, I just said, you know what, let me just start it. I didn't even have a name for it. I just I sampled plenty shitty names, and then when I was creating my profile on Rivway that they've now shut down, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I was playing with my pen and pencil. I was writing my name like Z Z Z Z Z, and
Mhm.
then zigzag just came popped into my head with Z, and it just made sense. It just all came together, and I wanted something for me. I wanted something that I had on
Mhm.
my own. I mean, I have a medium. I could have continued writing on my medium. But I wanted something more personal, something that it
Mhm.
would just be for my audience, people that are in my circle.
Yeah, people are interested.
Yeah, people that are interested in it. Thank you for being part of it, Jones.
Yeah,
I
always,
remember your first reply. So thank you.
always.
So
You
yeah,
have,
and the content stuff is just like a random experience, nothing serious. I don't want to take it too serious. I don't want to take myself too serious. So it's just like random things, random stories and experiences and discussions and memes and stuff that I learned, of course. Anything that I find out along the line, I try
yeah.
to let my people in on it so that hey, I got this and come and see this, yeah, that's it.
That's
And that's when my bed also came into. And I
exactly.
think I
We'll get the story of the bed. Pause first. We'll get the story of the bed. Get the story of the bed. This is relating back to what Tolu Alabi said in the podcast, right?
okay.
And he was also saying that sometimes as designers we overweight ourselves with the responsibility of branding ourselves as designers. So we forget that we're human beings at first. Like
Yeah.
she also said that thing also one time. He was like, you put so much weight on tweeting only things that are relating to design, talking
The
about things that are
design,
relating to design. Like your
like
whole life
come on.
exactly. People see you for nothing else except that it's design, and it's for a while.
Design.
For a while, it will make sense. It will allow you be in
Yeah.
people's faces, and they think about you. They think about design. But after a certain period of time, it's like you've reached a saturation point where you are oversaturated with the thought of the people
With
are
design content, design related stuff.
exactly. People are oversaturated with it, and you then become boring because they have no identity to who you are. They don't know anything about you. They don't know nothing. Even book writers give stories that are relating to them. So mention their wife, their children, even if it's a book about certain things, because like it's too much weight for individuals to put on themselves. Not that it should not be serious, but
Yeah.
it's just sometimes you tell people about
This is
yourself.
something like this is something I was very aware of. This is something I was very aware, especially on Twitter when I see some people tweet about only design related things, and I'm like, no, I don't want this for my own self. Like I have a
Yeah,
life. I was doing something before I started design, and I have a life outside of design. I have a life outside of UX writing. And life is not just about your career path. Life is a combination of so
exactly.
many other things. Like, what's the fun in tweeting about only design advice, giving advice to newbies, giving only resources, and I don't know, putting your mouth in every design related stuff. Like,
Just
it's something I have intentionally avoided. Like, I don't want, if you come to me, the first thing you think is design, the first thing you think is UX writing. Like, chill.
yeah.
Chill first.
It's good. I
Yeah.
believe it's good. I know I did that when I was starting out, when I was starting out in school. Everybody knew me for designing. But it got to a point where it was all I was ever known for, right? And it was hard for people to see like the human in you. Like it's hard for them to see your personality because any
Yeah.
small thing they'll be like, yeah, now only you are UX. Or even if we're having a discussion about football, I don't watch
In
football.
discussion with you, like
Exactly.
they're not sure what they can talk about with you. That is not design.
Exactly.
And some of them will feel intimidated by you. They think you know so much. And
Exactly.
bro,
You will just
because you're a
lose
design person, you
friends.
think, okay, you know so much, and meanwhile you don't know that much, and you need people to also teach you. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It makes sense. And that's why I really appreciate your newsletter because yeah, it just gets to I get to see other story. Like I would have never
Wow.
known the story of the bed. Now tell me the story of the
Thank
bed.
you. The story of the bed, and anybody listening, this is beard like a bed animal, not BED, BIRD. Okay, so this bed, the first time I really noticed it, like I said in the newsletter, was when we had a chicken that we usually feed every morning and evening. So we just
Wait,
was
is
on
that
a
chicken still alive? Is the chicken still alive?
no, the chicken is dead. The chicken is dead. We killed
Ouch.
it. The chicken is gone. Oh,
Sad.
we had a chicken that we usually feed morning and evening. So anytime we go outside to feed that chicken, we notice this bird that comes to eat the remnants of the chicken food. And we're like, oh, this bird, it came day one, came day two, came day three, just noticed that we're like, okay, my dad started it. He started giving the bird food every morning. And then we noticed that this bird also come in the evening when we're about to feed the chicken and also come and eat the remnant of the chicken. So that's how we started also actively taking care of the pet too, even though we are not that close to it. Anytime we try to get close to it, it runs away, which is understandable because it's still an animal at the end of the day. So we just feed it, we give it food and we give it water, and it will come, eat and fly away. It will come in and fly away. So yeah, that's how the bed is. And then at the point, the bed started brought a friend. The bed brought a friend at some point. And both of them would come in the mornings and the evenings. But now I still saw the bed. It has a name now, by the way. You know the name of my next newsletter. So I still saw the bed.
Nice.
Yeah. It has a name and it still came this morning without the friend. Sometimes the friend followed, but the friend is not as comfortable as the bed. The bed is going to eat while we are there, but that friend is going to be locking on the fence and waiting for us to go before it comes to it. So yeah, the bed is. But that's we've domesticated the bed, and I agree because sometimes, even in the evenings, if I forget to go and feed the chicken outside, I'm going to be hearing bird sound. There's this bird sound that I hear. So then I'm like, oh, I'm not fed this guy today, so let me go and feed this. But when the chicken died, I thought I was going that we're not going to feed the chicken again because the bed again because there's no point feeding the
because the chicken was not there again.
Actually, but I actually actively do it. It's like a routine because sometimes I'm always in my room working from morning till evening, and in the evening when I remember that I want to feed this bed, it make me go outside. So like a little routine and something that I feel responsible for that makes me even want to feed it in the mornings. And so yeah, that is just fun.
That's nice.
And by now I thought the bed will still comes.
Now where people they see food, now there they stay. If they feed the bed, where you want they go again?
I'm surprised that the bed has sense. I'm surprised. Like, how does the bed know morning and evening? Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't see this bed today, but I'll just turn my back and I'll see it behind me. I'm like, hi, you're here again today. And I'm surprised, how does this bed have sense?
To know the difference in morning and evening.
Yeah, I wish you could talk so I would just know, like, how are you sure I'll actually bring food?
Oh my God, Zainab. Oh my God. That's nice. All of us listening, for people listening, the link to subscribe to Zainab's newsletter is in the description.
Yay.
Let me first tell you, Zainab has an amazing sense of humor. So be rest assured to find out very interesting story that you would read from it. Exactly. You know.
Yeah.
She's awesome. She's just like that.
I try my best. Are we nearing the end of this? Because I have like a question for you before we finish.
Yeah, we are. I was about to get there. While we're approaching the end, I have just one thing left on my notes menu. So yeah, I can ask.
I have a question for you too.
Okay,
you say your podcast name is Not Just Design. I think we spoke about it before when you changed your name from Drones to Not Just Design, but I wasn't clear. I wasn't clear about like why change your name and what does Not Just Design mean. And I mean, you said Not Just Design, but based on some of the content we've been putting out so far, they've been design related. Even this one is kind of design related. So what do you mean by Not Just Design? And why did you change your name?
So first question is, why did I change the name, right? So I changed the name from Drones to Not Just Design because Drones is me. Drones is my personality. And if I use that for my YouTube, it's more of I'm becoming the idea of a company. I am becoming Google. If my nickname is Google and everything around me is Google, the idea of who Google is this. So like Drones was the podcast. Drones was the YouTube
brand.
It was the brand. Whereby Drones is me. I like to crack jokes. I am very funny. Exactly.
I understand.
Exactly. So that's why I changed it. And again, another reason was for SEO reasons. So I was like, if I'm going to change this name for the fact that I wanted to be Drones and have Not Just Design, then the SEO has to come in place. And having design in the name would help me get found easily.
It's going to find you. Most of your content are still design related. So what are we saying?
Exactly. So now it's not just design from the context of design itself is not just only design. So the name, after deciding I was going to change it from drones, right? And I was going to have design in the name. I spent time, like I spent like weeks, I was talking with my friend, I was talking with people, and I was like, how do I have design in the name? Right. But then I don't want it to be something very, very cliche, something they
Like
can find
it's in
anywhere.
your face design.
Exactly. So then I started checking and just randomly thinking. I had Fig Baba, I had Fig something. So my friend will remove words from Figma, remove words from Adobe, and like you know, just mix it.
And just made them together.
Exactly. It didn't make sense. And then I came across something that changed my mindset towards it. And it was like, as a designer at Unko, I only do not just do design, right? There's a leadership role. There's a responsibility to be able to contribute to the team technically. If I had no prior idea to how code works, right? And all I did was product design, I would lose value for the team. And like I would not just
Yeah.
even know how things work generally. And that was what helped because I was like, at the end of the day, it's not Figma alone. I
You're
was
not
I
just
was thinking, I was
designing.
like, exactly, it's not Figma alone. If it's left for Figma, right, people's value will be less because that means you can even find anybody that doesn't know how to use it.
I
It's
can
like
design exactly.
it's like driving a car. If driving a car was moving steering and pressing, acceleration, right? Everybody
Anybody
would
can
be
do
a good
it.
driver. Exactly. But it's not just about like driving, there's a mental aspect. That's why they say you should not drink and drive, you have a call because there's a mental aspect to it, right? And it's the same thing with design. There's technical aspects to thinking about how design should be like, is how you present the idea. It's just more than that. That was the idea behind it. It's not just design because it's not just design alone. It's more than that.
Yeah, that
It's
makes sense. That
communication.
makes sense. I thought you meant like for your own content, you don't want to
Would
only put out stuff about design, but your
oh
explanation makes your description makes sense. Like it is not just about designing and colors and Figma.
yeah,
It's about
yeah,
so many other things that you can also contribute to. So yeah,
yeah.
you've answered my question. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. So this is my last question. Right? We're coming to the end right now. I really appreciate you sitting down with me.
Yay!
And the question
Yay!
is, tell me about this quote
Okay.
from your newsletter. It's from the book you read. It's finally got myself to read a book. I read Zikora by Chimamanda.
Yeah.
A short
Yeah.
and nice book. If you want, hola. I want. But then tell me
You
about the
want
book.
it. So at first when I was reading the book, it's like 30 pages long. It didn't make sense to me, but it gradually made sense about like a lady that she did not meet a guy, but because where they started from was when she was in the labor room trying to give birth, but then in a backtrack to the person that owns the pregnancy and how he did not take responsibility for the pregnancy when she got pregnant because he said it was not ready. They were not married, they were just dating and then she got pregnant. But she's like on the older side and she wanted to keep the baby. She's like 30-year-old plus Sha. She like
Yeah.
so the our motherhood came in and kind of changed her life, and now our mother was supportive, but not that supportive. If you read the book, you understand what I'm saying, because in the labor room, our mother was not
Okay.
giving her that kind of affection that a normal mother or a spouse would give her. And but then at the end of the day, the woman, our mother was the only one by her side at the end of the day. And the reason for that excerpt was that out of everything she was saying, it was like how getting pregnant and not just being pregnant and giving birth and being in the labor room, the kind of pain that women endure to get pregnant,
Yeah.
to give birth, and then post pregnancy and then post birth. So like the thing is not easy, and it was even scary for me while reading the book because that's where that quote comes in. I don't know it offhand, but like if giving birth were easy and babies would just slip out, but babies don't just slip out. There is like a whole thing pre-pregnancy and post-pregnancy, and that is it's just not easy and it's kind of scary as a woman
Yeah.
myself. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Let,
that's
let,
what
let me let me let me read the quote. The quote was,
yeah.
nature must not want humans to
Okay, nature.
reproduce.
Nature. Okay.
Otherwise, birthing would be easy, even enjoyable. Babies would
Okay.
easily slip out, and mothers would remain unmarked and whole, merely blessed by giving bestowed
Excellent.
life. And experts I agree with because birthing and motherhood is not peace.
It is
Yeah.
not easy, and there's some graphic parts that I can't even say out small. Like what? This actually happens when someone gives birth, and then after you give it, they have to situ backup. They literally have situ with needle and thread drones. Yeah. It's
Well,
scary.
thank you. Thank you for sitting. I
Thank
don't
you
want to speak
so
about.
much, Jules. Thank you so much. This was so nice. This was very interesting.
Yeah. I really appreciate it. I
Yeah.
enjoy having these discussions with people. This
Me
for me is
too.
very
I enjoy
selfish.
being here.
Yeah, it's selfish. I always speak to people that are interesting. I feel like interested in. I want
Thank
to learn
you.
from them. For people listening, this podcast is sponsored by Narration. You can listen to Narration podcast with startup founders. Link is in the description. Narration is, they're on a mission and they have one goal to inform young Nigerians. And basically, they cover all of that with research from finances, from governments, politics, and talk about tech with startup founders, from people in CBN down to even young Nigerian artists, upcoming artists. So with that being said, this comes to the end. You can check other episodes, the link in description or in the picture video that come up next.
Like please subscribe to my newsletter, which Rose is going to link in his description box. Or how do they say it? Subscribe to Zigzag Z and I will try to do my best to entertain you. We have always I've always been doing.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
So with that being said,
bye. Thanks, guys, for listening to this podcast. I hope you listen to the end. I hope you listen to this point. And if you have any questions for me in particular, you can always come to my Twitter and ask me. If you have any questions for Drones, it's always open to answering your questions as well. Thank you guys for listening. See you in the next episode. Bye.
Subscribe and like.
Subscribe and like and comment. Thank you very much.
Yes.